Well, a big change coming to schools in Minnesota. They're putting in place a so-called transgender toolkit, which advises teachers to call students scholars instead of boys and girls, and instead of a prom king and queen, prom ambassadors. Here's the explanation why. They say schools should not assume a student's name or pronoun. When students are referred to by the wrong pronoun by peers or school staff, students may feel intimidated, threatened, harassed, or bullied. Joining us now with his reaction is Minnesota State Representative Tim Miller, who is fighting actively against this particular measure. Representative, thanks for being here this morning. So, first of all, do you believe the rationale given for this, and how are Minnesotans responding to it?
Well, thanks for having me this morning, Pete. I really feel like common sense has sort of left the room, and the Department of Education is really focusing on something that is not supported by the people of Minnesota.
So what's the agenda here? I mean, are there so many transgendered children being bullied in Minnesota that this is a massive problem that they feel like they need to react to?
Pete, unfortunately, this has been an agenda that has been going on for about 4, maybe 5 years now in Minnesota, and we're told conflicting things. One time I've said there's only a few kids throughout the entire state of Minnesota, so why is someone like me speaking out against these poor kids? But then when I asked why are we putting together very serious, broad, sweeping policy across the state of Minnesota, why are we doing that when there's only a few students? And they say, well, there's students coming up all the time, and they're just being bullied, and so we need to put this policy in place.
Well, my father's an athletic director in Minnesota. He's had to deal with issues like this, locker rooms, boys, girls. Usually those closest to an issue are able to address it with common sense most effectively. Why is it that the left always feels like they need to go to massive directives based on a social agenda?
Well, I think that's exactly it, Pete. There's a social agenda. And my concern is that the responsibility of schools is to ensure the safety and privacy of all students. And when you have an agenda like this that is being pushed in the state for a very small, distinct group, you are not serving the broader base of all the students.
Well, State Representative Tim Miller, thanks for joining us this morning. I can say as someone who was born and raised in Minnesota watching the show today, we have got this segment. You got Betsy Hodges. What is happening in Minnesota? Maybe folks like you can put it back on the rails. And our viewers, email us about this topic, friends@foxnews.com. Is this the kind of policy you want to see in your school? Interested to read some of those.